Well, hello everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Not normally the most energetic start to a vlog by myself. You can probably tell that it's a little bit later on in the day on a Sunday as well. I just wanted to get out a little bit of a Sunday supplement. Now, let me address a few of the rumours. Not to do with Leeds United yet, but to do with me. I pretty much died whilst being away, hit with the worst flu, and I felt absolutely grim. So annoyingly, wasn't able to get. I always want to go away and get if let's say I'm away for 4 days, if I can get 8 videos out, that'd be unbelievable. But I only managed to get 2 out, I think 2 or 3 out. However, there was a bit of a banger on the Patreon where I went around the Sevilla stadium and answered a couple of questions, and it was a bit fun. I wanted to do a little bit more of that. Had the camera woman, my partner, filming me, and it was actually quite good. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm like, everyone, I love the camera, so yeah, it was quite nice. Might try and port a few more bits like that. But listen, if you want to check that out, head on over to Patreon. It's well worth it. I'm definitely gonna get her and others to film me a lot more talking about Leeds just when we're out and about and when we're doing things. I think it's actually a little bit more interesting for you guys as well. So shout out to that, shout out to you. And sorry for waffling, but yeah, I'm still ill. Shouldn't be doing this. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you'll think to yourself, I'll have a chill day, but I can't chill. I do not have a chill button. I think it's a skill, it's an art to chill. But yeah, a little bit of a recap on everything that's going on. What have we seen? What have we seen over the past week, really? Well, fantastically, England won yesterday. I know a lot of you guys will be like, you're not bothered about it, and I understand that. But as you can tell by my twang, I am English from the north of the country, so I do indeed support them, and it's always nice when they actually do well. But I am torn with Ireland as well, who make up a serious genetic portion of my body as well. Thank you, mother, but there you go. But I am inherently English, so that was great yesterday, seeing them get the win. But yeah, off the flight yesterday, feeling absolutely rough. Sleep hasn't been great. I'm not taking these off. This isn't for show, it's because my eyes are minging at the minute. I need sleep, basically. So anyway, we were at 3 minutes into this, and it's waffle. But do you know what, everyone? It's not just, I don't want this to just be like a channel in terms of me just waffling on about. I want, you guys know me, I know you. And a lot of you say that when I meet you in person, you enjoy me talking waffle, seeing what's going on in my life and all that sort of stuff, not just stuff to do with Leeds. So here we go. I like to import this sort of stuff. But we'll be doing the counterpoint with Joe tomorrow. We'll be doing another live stream probably a little bit later on. So loads of good stuff coming tomorrow. We've got Across the Pond with Gabe, which is going straight onto the Patreon. I'm going to be discussing Bielsa versus Marsh, which is coming up. How's Jesse Marsh? How has Jesse Marsh got to the semi-finals? Obviously they beat, was it Venezuela last night, Canada, and Jesse Marsh was doing his stupid celebration that we saw, I think once at Leeds with his one win or whatever it was. I think he did more celebrations at Leeds when we lost. It's like Leicester and Man City and stuff like that. So yeah, he's in a semi-final. America, shout out to all of you lot, but America have gone out. I know we've got some American viewers, but they've gone out. Got stuffed by, I think, Colombia, and then they got beaten, but they get beaten by Panama. And Panama, Gabe was saying, have beaten them twice in a year. Oh dear, it's peak. Listen, I don't mind the States, but the US men's national team accounts, they came for me, everyone, for years. Not for years, it felt like years. But yeah, anyway, Bielsa through. They beat Brazil with 10 men this morning. Unbelievable. And there's actually a really cool piece that Bielsa did. It wasn't a piece, it was like a video bit where he's talking about how football's changed and football will never be what it used to be. It used to be like a representation of communities, and now it's all about representation of businesses and corporate and all this sort of stuff. See that dodge? Bosh. So yeah, listen, it's one of those things where with those sorts of things, it's, we want Bielsa to win the Copa America. We are the Bielsa widows, aren't we? And I think he got a really good chance of doing it now, hasn't he? Knocked out Brazil, beaten Brazil twice in a year. I think they've got Argentina, haven't they, left really to overcome. But Canada, please do not let Jesse Marsh win the Copa America. Imagine. Anyway, Sevilla. So I was in Sevilla, or Seville, whatever. And Real Betis, obviously, who comprise half of that city's support, the working class. section of that city. I know you guys enjoy the history and the cultural aspect when we're talking about football as well. Go check that out on the old video. But yeah, Betis have inquired and essentially put in a bid for Diego Llorente. That, according to the YP, has been rejected. But then Romano's reporting that apparently it's been accepted by Leeds United. So that is going to be so interesting in itself, because how that's reported is going to be fascinating, because sort of how you're looking at it is, you know, if that is factually correct and Romano's got it right and the YEP haven't got it right, goodness me, what state. I mean, this is literally what Bielsa is saying, isn't it? It's all about leaks and corporate and business, and it feels like Romano's part of that foreign corporate leak business, which is just not the natural way you kind of want it to happen. The local journalists need to have the proper stories, but if Romano's right and they're wrong, flipping heck. But yeah, the YEP reporting that it's been rejected. But Romano's saying, here we go, it's been accepted, he's off to Betis. But yeah, lovely city, I'm sure Diego will enjoy it. 3 million quid, brought him in for, 10? It's another loss on the books for Leeds United, which isn't ideal. Max Verber, Florian Petterberg was reporting the other day that Leeds are holding out to 10 to 12 million euros for him. I think Leeds have got to be careful when, you know, if they're making such losses on the books. It doesn't look good when it comes to PSR. It doesn't look good like we've mentioned several times. Obviously, PSR and financial restraints. You can't just make losses, and I think sometimes we all get mixed up in the fact that, oh well, it's wages off the books. It's it's another player off the books of which we can bring in someone else. It doesn't really work like that. You have to put it against the books, and if you've made a loss on a player, if you bought him in for a certain amount and then you've made a loss on him, it doesn't look good. So Llorente, not good again. Roca, not good. And that's why essentially you're having to keep hold of Brendan Aronson and play him into some sort of form and hope that he can actually turn it round. Bring him in for 30 million quid like Dobol Orta did. You're going to have, look, his form is going to have to increase. And Leeds, I'm a little bit torn really on what Leeds are doing with Aronson, because it feels like you let him out on loan again to another German club. And it felt like he had an okay end to the season, but when you're looking at this strategically, is he going to gain more value playing better in the Championship than he is having an okay season again in Germany, albeit being at the top level? Of course it is. Of course he will, because there's more notoriety with this country. There just is. And like we've seen with many teams, players this season, when it's come to Leeds United, even Dan James would go for a really good value now, and Leeds would probably would they make a profit on him? I don't think so. But, I could see a world in which you could get 15, 20 million for Dan James, genuinely. So, look, if Dan James was to go out to, out on loan this season, the season that's just gone, to let's say Fulham again and play 10 times, we're not going to accrue any of that value. So I think tactically what they've done with Brendan is actually a smart move, and it really is hands tied behind the back sort of stuff, in my opinion, because obviously with amortisation being spread 5 million quid per year, obviously, and then obviously you're spreading out the payments. Aronson was signed for 30 million quid, so Leeds are going to make the books. It's going to be a little bit easier. In a year's time you could sell him for 20 million quid, but the perfect strategy there is for him to have a good season at Leeds. He's still young, and that's the only strategy Leeds have got. Loaning him out again makes no sense, and I think Leeds will have sat down with him and had this conversation. All the rumours are going around now that he rejected German clubs. I don't know if I believe that. I think Leeds have sat down with him and tried to talk sense into him and said, look, this is the best move for your career right now. Stay at the club, play a level of Championship football. The likelihood is, when you look at Junior, when you look at Dan James, who performed at the top level and didn't perform well, if we're being honest, they've taken that drop down and they've been much better. Your career can follow this similar pattern. Now Firpo will be worth a lot more. Dan James will be worth a lot more. So I think that's what Leeds have done. I don't think Brendan's just rejected, bid after bid after bid, an option. I think Leeds have just gone, look, your valuation will be higher if you stay here. That's my personal opinion. So, as well, on top of that, Somerville, it's not really, we're not seeing anything when it comes to Crescencio at this moment in time. The last time we reported on it, we spoke about PSG, we spoke about Liverpool, I know Slot is mentioning, or has mentioned, or is rumoured to be considering winger options at this moment in time. PSG are apparently very, very keen on Crescencio Somerville. It's going to be difficult for Leeds, but the beauty of what we're doing now with players like Verba, with players like Somerville, is because, so for instance, with Verba, it's a bit of a different situation because you just don't want to make a loss on the books. But with Crescencio Somerville, but because he's been part of Leeds for so long, because we brought him in for 1.75 million, if you're to sell him for 35, 40 million quid, that is mass profit. It's mass profit, and you can lose that money on the other players because of your assets. And that's where Leeds have done so well in producing these chronically good players this season in terms of developing them at this level. And that's what they'll be looking to do with Brendan Aronson, 100%. So it means that you can have that loss because you're going to make it up for selling some of your crazy assets as well. When you look at the front line as well, Willian Yonto, I think it's going to be Everton. I don't think you're going to get many Serie A clubs being able to afford the price that apparently Leeds are rumoured to be asking for in 20 million plus. It's just not going to happen. Serie A clubs don't offer that sort of money, so keep an eye on that one. But Everton just, I don't know, they're going to be lurking in the background, I think, till the very end. They've been interested in this guy now for 3 years. Apparently that's when the rumours first started dropping. 3 years. It's a long time, and I don't think Dyche is just going to suddenly turn around and say, we don't need him. Cresswell, another one. 3.8 million to Toulouse. I don't know what happened in the first stage of it, but it broke down. Second stage, he's going. I think it's, my French, I think it's shit. I think it's shit business from Leeds. Shackleton signed for Sheffield United. Don't mind that whatsoever. Firpo, keep an eye on that one, everyone. 12 months left on his deal. I was out and I was speaking to someone, unfortunately didn't want to be recorded, out in Seville, where I was. And it was on one of the days that I was ill. And he was speaking, actually, English Betis fan, about how much they love him out there. They love him out there. There's always a space open for him. And listen, Junior Firpo, I mean, he said to me he's the best left wing back he's seen in his lifetime, which is somebody accreditation. So keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on Seville. Betis in Seville, obviously. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of a muddy one right now, I think it's a muddy one right now with Leeds. It's all about just getting the correct outgoings. And then at some point, we're going to start focusing on these incomings. I think Rodon's a really good start, but if we've been brutally honest, there's still more that are going to have to go out, I think, for then, Leeds to be really focusing on incomings. I don't mind that. I don't mind that whatsoever. Get your books in order and then start to add players. I don't mind that whatsoever. Another one to focus on as well. Obviously, Leeds United need a certain amount of goalkeepers. We know that. Looks like Christopher Klaassen is leaving the club. So it looks like apparently Leeds are going back in for Alex Cairns, obviously 31 years of age, started his career at Leeds United. So yeah, welcome back, homegrown player as well. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Really appreciate your support. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Let me know exactly what you think. And by God, I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow.